I'm Stacey Widlitz. Today I'm thrilled to be here with teapigs in conversation with Alibaba. Teapigs is such an iconic British brand, and great brands are born out of personal experience. Can you tell us about the inspiration for the brand?
Well, Nick and I started the brand together. My background is as a tea taster, so I had been fortunate enough to have travelled all over the world for years before launching teapigs, so for about 7 years, and realised very much that there was an opportunity for better quality tea. In the UK market, tea at that stage was quite intimidating, and so we really saw there was a gap in the market for a more sort of irreverent, friendly brand, but a real quality tasting product. Tea should be fun. Yes. We use a phrase, no airs, no graces, just fine tea. So it should be about experiencing different qualities, different flavours. There's really unique combinations you can put together to make some interesting infusions.
Can you talk a little bit about the tea temple and actually what's behind it, and also about the sustainability aspect and the plastic-free aspect?
When we started, we wanted to launch a loose tea brand. We looked at the market and we said, actually 4, 5, 6% of the market was loose tea. It was tiny. The expectation of people being able to use a tea bag in a mug was what people were expecting to do. So we found the Fuso bag, which is what we use, and essentially what it does is allow you to pack loose tea into a format which is convenient for the consumer. The bags themselves, so they are certified as plastic free, and they are compostable. We take sustainability very seriously, so we're a certified B Corp, which means that we consider environment, people, our stakeholders and profits in equal measure. So when we're making a decision on packaging, we're thinking about the environmental impact, not just the cost of that packaging. And that runs through the whole business.
Talk to me about what that was like over the past year, particularly being a brand that is very reliant on cafes and hospitality and going out.
Yeah, I mean, the hospitality industry globally has been hit, and that's been challenging for us for our out-of-home sales. So hotels, restaurants, cafes have all had a hard time. We are fortunate in that we did have an online business already set up, and so actually those areas are areas which have grown considerably. So we're very lucky to have been able to switch the business in a slightly different direction during this time.
What has the transition to digital been like? As you say, you had so many partners set up digitally, but what has the business been like in terms of people staying home and the health trend and people really looking inward to take care of themselves? Do you think this is the moment for tea?
We've been fortunate to be able to set up our space so that we can service more orders, but also the range of products. When people come to our website, they're able to see an enormous range of products that they won't get in the shops. And we've noticed that the things that people are trialling are quite different to the products they would have tried before. So in a more traditional environment, you probably would steer towards a black tea or a green tea, but actually as we've started to introduce some limited editions like our hot cross bun tea that we did earlier this year, and people will get excited about these slightly more novelty products. We've just launched a kombucha, which is our first entry into ready to drink products, and it's literally flown out the door, people wanting to try new experiences based on quality tea.
While the UK has been very much closed over the last 6 months, luckily we're now open again. China has been very much open and booming.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your partnership with Alibaba and what that's meant to you as a gateway to the over 900 million Chinese online consumers?
Yeah, because we've been operating for just over 12 months with Alibaba, and it has been excellent. I mean, it's exceeded our expectations, and has been a really vital part of keeping our international business up and running during COVID. And the support that we've had from Alibaba has been great during this time, helping us forecast correctly, get the stock there in time, and support the various initiatives that are running through the year.
Can you talk about some of the specific insights maybe that you were surprised by, that you learned from your partnership with Alibaba that you would not have been able to learn on your own?
Yeah, I think the knowledge across different categories has been really useful, talking to Alibaba about actually insights that they've got from other categories, and so specifically around food and flavours that will be more popular than we had anticipated. And our learning is that the products which we don't sell as well in the UK actually sell particularly well. Things like chocolate tea It's not one of our top sellers in the UK, but has been a top seller in China. Rooibos creme caramel, those kind of sweeter, more indulgent flavours are doing particularly well in the China market.
British and Chinese culture is so different, but we both share this passion for tea.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, on a local level, how did Alibaba help you thinking about that local consumer, the marketing, and also help you develop the strategy?
The help that we had was to make it very clear that we're not going head to head with the traditional Chinese teas, and we certainly shouldn't be. We should be offering something new, something different to the Chinese consumer, not trying to get them to move away from traditional fantastic Chinese green teas, but actually that the kind of indulgent fruit varieties, the herbals, and even our black teas are more relevant for the consumer as a different experience, as opposed to like trying to target a massive change in culture. So yeah, that was a helpful kind of heads up, but also not feeling like we needed to conform to selling as being British. They steered us away from falling into that kind of cliche, and that actually the product that we'd got didn't need to change that much. We didn't need to change the packaging. We just needed to offer some slightly different SKUs than we might have thought would be relevant for the market.
Were you surprised by any of the tools or insights that you needed to help the Chinese consumer understand your brand? Do they need more content?
I'm very much a kind of queen of bullet points and limited information. So for me, the amount of information that the team needed to provide was incredible. Actually, the amount of information and research, and the insight that was given was, this consumer will look at your page 7 times before they're going to purchase. So they are browsing, they're looking for information, they want to watch videos, they want recipes, they want lots of pictures, and the more content which is there, the richer that experience is going to be, and therefore the more likely that person is going to purchase. And so that was really interesting insight, because we probably do the opposite in the UK. We want to get them to go straight to the basket as quickly as possible. So limit swathes of interesting insight. We actually bring it back into a very simple format.
How important is China to your future growth, and obviously the role that Alibaba plays in helping you with that growth over the next 16 years?
So we have the US, we have an office in the US, and that's what we're considering for China, is that we actually set up there as a legal entity as we start to develop the market, because we can see that tea is important to the Chinese. Everybody knows it's important to the Chinese consumer, but tea's in a different way is a growing trend. And I think Alibaba, is at the forefront of it. The team at Alibaba have been really supportive in leading us through the journey. We're obviously, only sort of 12 to 18 months into it, but actually the next steps are quite apparent as we can then look at the future of how do you take it online and then offline through the Alibaba network.
So Alibaba has really been the turnkey solution to this market of over 900 million consumers online.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that has helped us really get to know the market at a pace which is exceptional. So actually, if we compare it to some other markets that we've entered, it hasn't been as easy, because I think the direct contact and the data that you can get on the Chinese consumer and their reactions to your products very quickly, and the test and learn approach is what we've applied across the whole business, and actually doing that in the Chinese market has been really useful.
If only all markets were that easy to enter.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you talk about your plans for the next year, the next 5 years, the next 16 years in China and globally?
Yeah, so I think we want to focus our attention, so we're focusing on the US market and the China market and some more bespoke products. We've just launched a kombucha in the UK market, and I think getting into the ready-to-drink market in China would be an interesting trial to understand more about that. And I think the blends that we talked about, the cold brew, would be interesting in, parts of the country get very hot, and actually drinking hot tea at that time is not what everybody would want. And I think we can explore more into retail, so going offline. So there's lots to be done in China.
Thank you so much, Lou. Teapigs is an amazing story about quality and community, giving back, and sustainability. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks.